Good afternoon. Welcome to NGLCC's Communities of Color Initiative National Hispanic Heritage Month program. Today's theme is Conversation, Culture, and Clout, a celebration of LGBTQ entrepreneurs, allyship, and community. My name is Sean Franklin. My pronouns are he, him, his. I am the manager of the Stakeholder Engagement Center and co-team lead for the Coaching Committee, along with my colleague, Alicia Green. As a reminder, the Communities of Color Initiative is a place where our minority LGBTBEs can have their voices heard and brings business leaders from a range of industries and backgrounds to work together, share best practices, and foster success. Because I've been legally married to a Latino man for 6 years and together for over 14 years, this community is very near and dear to my heart. It is a community of keeping family close, culture, emerging leaders, fighters for human rights, and much, much more. During today's program, we are going to hear about some of our great Hispanic-owned businesses, and you're going to be able to listen to an inclusive roundtable discussion with certified LGBTBEs, corporate partners, and community leaders. After listening to their stories, we hope you will appreciate the conversation, the culture, and the clout. Before we get into what I know will be an amazing program, here are a few words from Justin Nelson, co-founder and president of NGLCC.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Justin Nelson. I'm the co-founder and president here at NGLCC. I use he, him pronouns, and it is my pleasure to welcome you all to our Hispanic Heritage Month celebration. I want to wish all of our Hispanic LGBTBEs, our corporate partners, our affiliate leaders, our organizational partners like the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, a wonderful celebration month. But it's the work that we all do collectively all year long that ensures that diverse and marginalized communities have a seat at the table. So thanks for your partnership and for the work that you do each and every day. Have a great event.
Thank you, Justin, for those incredible words of encouragement. Now, let's welcome members of today's roundtable. First, we have Juan Arayave, Managing Partner, Kiko's Coffee and Tea, Michaeline Cadiz, owner and CEO at Basil Baby, Leroy Cavazos Reyna, Vice President of Government and International Affairs at the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Esteban Gomez, co-founder and director at Keen Social and board president of the Long Beach LGBTQ+ Chamber of Commerce. We also have Raul Suarez Rodriguez, director of Global Economic Inclusion and Diversity at Merck, and last but certainly not least, Jessica Lozano Williams, Director of Supply Diversity at Target, who will lead today's discussion. Thank you again for attending today's event. Please enjoy the program.
Hi, I'm Jessica Gonzalez, founder and CEO of In Charge, Lux Disinfect, and Vendex. My pronouns are she and her. At In Charge, we provide brandable cell phone charging solutions for some of the world's largest events. With Lux Disinfect, we provide hospital-grade disinfection technology at an affordable price to schools and businesses. And with Vendex, we provide experiential vending solutions to help the biggest brands in the world with their marketing. I feel my company has benefited from the certification because it's given me the opportunity to work with companies I never thought I'd get in the door of, and I'm super thankful for that.
Hi, I'm Luke Maslow, co-founder of APG Emerging Tech, and my pronouns are he, him, and his. At APG Emerging Tech, we build business process automations, and we design and build technology for voice, web, and mobile platforms. Our differentiator is quickly moving our clients from strategy to action. We do this because of our rapid prototyping process and our deep industry knowledge. There's no better way to predict adoption than having users able to interact with the technology or process improvement you're about to implement. That's where we come in. After all, our goal is to prevent that common phrase and reaction you hear of, well, now that it's actually out there, it's not exactly what I was thinking. Delivering amazing original technology solutions is directly attributable to our inherent empathy for our customers and the internal teammates who are going to be touching that tech. We intentionally walk in their shoes throughout the process. Since joining NGLCC, we have expanded our network and it's directly attributed to our bottom line. From helping us identify strategic partners to welcoming new clients in the region, we've directly grown from the camaraderie and exposure offered. Thanks, NGLCC.
Hi, my name is Rico Ricketson. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm the founder and CEO of MH3, Mental Health Education for the Mind, Body, and Spirit. We partner with organizations to provide the communities they serve with exclusive mental health education. Our more than 50 diverse health and wellness experts share credible mental health education to learn how to catch changes in your mood, energy levels, and sleeping patterns before they become something more serious. We are proud to both be Hispanic owned and LGBT certified. Certification as an LGBT enterprise has made my leap from 21 years in corporate America to entrepreneur possible. Thank you, NGLCC, and happy Hispanic Heritage Month.
A comer. Dame la comida buena, chicharrones, papita frita. Dame un bistec de cerdo, frijoles negros, comida rica. Dame la comida buena, chicharrones, papita frita. Dame un bistec de cerdo, frijoles negros, comida rica. Dame la comida buena, chicharrones, papita frita. Dame un bistec de cerdo, frijoles negros, comida rica. Dame la comida buena, chicharrones, papita frita.
She said, "You got me in the kitchen."
Welcome, everybody, and thank you so much to NGLCC for putting together this panel of my colleagues. I'm really excited to be here and to talk with all of them today. First of all, happy Hispanic Heritage to everybody. I hope all of you have been celebrating throughout the month. And I think before we get everything started, what I really want to do is have everybody just introduce themselves. Go around, say a little bit about what you do, what your role is. That way we can just get to know each other a little bit better. I can start to kick it off. I'm Jessica Lozano Williams. I'm the Director of Supplier Diversity. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And at Target, I forgot to mention that part. Obviously, you can see my logo right here. And the role I play is I kind of think of myself as a matchmaker to diverse businesses and my internal partners. So I'm looking for that right time, right place, right opportunity. And I'm hopefully going to meet most of you when we're back in person again, and we can have those conversations. So who wants to go next? Maybe Raul, you're right to my right. So.
Well, thank you. And thank you for having me. So I'm Raul Suarez Rodriguez, and I'm from Merck in the United States, outside the United States, MSD. And my pronouns are he and him. And I lead the Global Economic Inclusion and Supply Diversity Program here at Merck. Economic inclusion and supply diversity is at the epicenter of Merck procurement organization. And what we do is create economic opportunities for the underrepresented communities by procuring products and services from minority, women, LGBT, service disabled, veterans, and disability-owned businesses. And my role is to be an access provider.
Great, thanks. Who wants to go next? Do I have a volunteer?
I'll go next. My name is Esteban Eduardo Gomez. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I'm the president of the Long Beach LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce, and I'm also the co-founder and CEO of Keen Social, a data-driven, full-service, multicultural digital agency specializing in social media.
Good
Thank you.
afternoon, everybody. And thank you to NGLCC for hosting this event. Happy Hispanic Heritage Month to everybody. My name is Cili Roy Cavazos Reina, and I have the humble privilege of serving as the Vice President of Government and International Affairs for America's largest Hispanic business organization, the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, representing 5 million Hispanic-owned businesses across the United States, and a network of more than 260 Hispanic chambers in the United States and all US major territories. My pronouns are he, him, and his, and it's a great to be here to have and entertain this very necessary dialogue and conversation during Hispanic Heritage Month with our national partners at the NGLCC and the rest of our partners on this line.
Hello, everyone. My name is Juan Arroyave. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm the managing partner of Kiko's Coffee and Tea. We're powering up people's life one cup of coffee and tea at a time. We've been in business for like almost 3 years now, and we've been part of the NGLCC Chamber of Commerce, I guess, almost since then. And thank you very much for putting this together. I think this will help us get to know each other, do business, and talk about important things. That is diversity.
Great, thanks. And last but certainly not least, Michaeline.
Hi, everyone. My name is Michaeline Cadiz. I identify as she and her, and I am the founder and CEO of the Basil Baby brand. Basil Baby is a baby lifestyle brand that was born by creating the first bandana bib, style bib in the USA. Actually the first bandana bib in Target in 2012. So since then, we've expanded our unique and trendy print collections to a variety of products in the baby sleeping, teething, and feeding categories, all innovative to help the modern families and to showcase diversity. We really try to incorporate the, not only Hispanic, but all walks of life, families from all walks of life, to be able to showcase the modern family and what that looks like in today's modern day. My role as a CEO is to manage the business and lead the teams, but also bring my passion and culture for products to the team and to the market and showcase that. So it's a little bit of a storyteller.
Great. Thank you all for sharing. And now that we've all gotten to learn a little bit about each other, I want to go into some questions about the Hispanic Heritage Month and just our backgrounds and our thoughts around so many different things. And I want this to be conversational. So if you have ideas or things you want to add on, please, let's go ahead and just have that conversation. But to start, my first question is just around, as we recognize and celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, what do you hope those within the community and outside of the Hispanic community reflect on? But anybody wants to start kind of their thoughts around that? Feel free.
Yeah, I'll kick us off, Jessica, if you don't mind. One of the things that I think is so important is that people see these 30 days as a moment in time where the Latina community comes together to celebrate our accomplishments, but really our heritage should be celebrated 365 days a year. The US Census reported that there are 62 million Latinos now living in the United States. It is the belief of the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce that that number is really about 63.5 million, to be inclusive of the 750,000 dreamers that are seeking status in this country, and also the more than 1 million asylum seekers that have come into this country seeking a piece of the American dream. So we need to be cognizant that our consumer power is not only to be celebrated during Hispanic Heritage Month, and that the ascension of Latinos and Latinas into positions of power into this country should not only be highlighted during Hispanic Heritage Month, but this is ongoing work that collectively we do year round with all of our partners, like you see on this line, with all of our corporate members like Target and Merck, and with all people who are willing to be of the belief that Latinos are really what is going to be the engine of the American revitalization after the global pandemic as we continue to grow exponentially in this country.
How do you follow that with all those data points that are so powerful? So I think one of the things that I would like to add is that the diversity within the Hispanic community, and again, it's not a whole month. It is 365 days and beyond, right? But there's diversity within our Hispanic, cultures, right? So there's someone from the Caribbean, from Latin America. So there is something to said about that. And I think, for those that value diversity, I think it's important to recognize and reflect on the value that, having a Hispanic-based community of, talent in the workforce or supply base, what that's going to do is breed innovation, because diversity breeds innovation. So having a Hispanic-based community, right, representative of talent that are from the Hispanic descent or Hispanic business owners, that's what's going to do. Innovation is going to flow, and then that's the thing that I would like people to reflect on.
I think you took what I was going to say pretty much. So I don't really have a clear follow-up to that, but I just want to echo about that we're such a vast array of cultures. There's so many different countries that make up what people would consider the Hispanic population. I mean, myself, I get asked all the time, what are you? And if you ask that question, I'm going to say human, just because I know what you're trying to get to, and I'm going to be kind of smart alecky about it. But I'm half Salvadoran, and so my dad is from El Salvador, so I grew up with that. But knowing there's so many more cultures and so many more countries that make up this, that's what I would want people to reflect on, that there's no one look of a Hispanic, there's no one background of a Hispanic. And so I think just recognizing that and understanding and celebrating.
Like I mean, even diversity of languages and accents. I have friends from all over the world, right? And I have to talk differently with my friends from Honduras, from Colombia, even from Peru. Everybody, we have different slangs, we have different cultures. The food is so diverse.
Yeah, so I agree with everybody in Juan's last statement of there's so much diversity within our own cultures. I think we need to focus on and celebrate each other's cultures as opposed to putting each other down, because I think we're stronger in numbers. And I don't want to be the Debbie Downer of the group, but I found some points online of some important statistics that I do want people to reflect on in our community, because I think they are important, even though they're not necessarily on the positive side of things. But according to Pew Research, and this research could be a little old, I just found it right before before we hopped on the call, but 66% of Hispanics who got a job or entered the military directly after high school cited the need to help support their family as a reason for not enrolling in college, compared with 39% of whites. Another fact: the Hispanic dropout rate remains higher than that of Blacks, 7%, whites, 5%, and Asians. Hispanics still lag in other groups obtaining a 4-year degree. As of 2014, among Hispanics aged 25 to 29, just 15% of Hispanics have a bachelor's degree or higher. And once again, I'm not pointing this out to, to bring the conversation down. I think it's important for us to recognize it and figure out how do we overcome these challenges. And I hope we kind of get to talk about that the remainder of the chat.
I think those facts are a call to action, right? So what do we need to do to really change that narrative and change those facts, right?
Right.
So it is actions in which, you as a chamber, leader, and also as a business owner, what can you do, right, to level the playing field on the work that you do at that level? What can we do as a corporation to really elevate, the Hispanic talent, the Hispanic business owners, right? So I think that there's a lot to say about those facts, because also we know that Hispanic business, owners, the gap on business management education is 5 times as a white, right? And the revenue is impacted by that. If we all provide the right access, the right education, and the right resources, they can accelerate and grow at the same pace as, non-Hispanics or white, right? So I think it's important. I like those. It's not nothing negative. It's just the call to action and what each of us can do to really step into and, have an impact on what it needs to be done.
I think that's
Absolutely.
the beauty of Hispanic Heritage Month as it is, right? I mean, it's calling attention to these issues. It's calling attention to the beauty of the diverse culture and the passion that it brings. And it really is educating others. I mean, that's what it's about, right? Educating others. And if one person outside of the Hispanic community can learn something from what we do, or learn something from something that happens over National Hispanic Heritage Month, then we've done well. We've done a great job. And I think that is the beauty of this month.
No, absolutely, I would agree. And one thing I want to build on one thing that Raul said about the chamber network and us being the stewards of capacity building in this country. It is our social and economic responsibility to assert to the federal government and to assert to corporate America that the days are over of minority businesses, especially Latinos, being subcontractors to non-minority businesses. We have businesses in our ecosystem and in our network that are very capable, that are very bonded, that are very financially stable, that are able to take prime contracts from the federal government and from corporate America. So that we are no longer as a community trying to get a seat at the table. We are making our own seat at the table because it is income. I mean, we merit that seat. We deserve that seat just based on our buying power. And so you're absolutely right, Raul. It is our responsibility as chambers across the country to make sure that we are providing capacity building programs through our corporate partnerships to make sure that our business community is prepared to procure and prepared to be financially stable and prepared to be able to take those contracts that rightfully belong to us and that create wealth building within the Latino community.
I think that I do agree with that, but I would like to add, we cannot only fulfill those contracts, but we, a lot of times as small businesses, we cannot meet all of the requirements from the bigger partners. Let's say I was bidding into getting into different supermarkets, but the requirements are so big and they require like 4 years, 5 years. Yeah, but I can make it happen. I have the power, the economical power. I even have more knowledge within my team to fulfill certain things, but because of the bureaucracy and the paperwork that needs to be completed, we cannot do it. So if we all as businesses want to really make things happen, we have to adapt our processes to work not only with the Hispanics, but with everybody across the world, with other minorities, with Asians, with everybody to make things happen. So corporate really would need to show that they are being flexible, because we are capable of fulfilling. It's just the bureaucracy and all of the steps are like too tedious. But I would like to add that we can make it happen. We can fulfill it. We can give results as perfect as the other companies, but we need also the corporate world to show that they want to help us.
I think there's been a lot of conversation about the power that Hispanics have within the community, and then also the responsibility that corporations have to help serve those communities. But I do want to learn a little bit more about, so knowing that there's so much out there that Hispanics have brought forward, and do you have any role models in your personal life or in your professional life, people you really look up to from the Latino community that you would want to call out now? Raul, anybody come to mind?
Yeah, so on the personal side, to me, my mother is my role model, right? So, and why is that? It's just she knew. So we grew on we're from Cuba, so we grew before the revolution. My grandfather, he was a pharmacist, and you have a little small pharmacy in the town that we lived in. So my mom, from the early beginnings, and she was 14, she was working in that pharmacy. So, but she wanted to become a doctor, right? But then, the circumstances didn't play out for her to do that right after her finishing the high school. So she had me, and then there was an opportunity for her to become a doctor as a working professional, and she did. At the age of 28, she started to be enrolled into the medical school, and she became a doctor. And and that, to me, it makes me proud, and it makes me who I am today. And that's, for me, is being a role model, that she, even though she had a lot of falls in her life and a lot of hiccups, that she stood up and kept going. And that's always what she told me, right? Yeah, you will fall today, but lift up yourself and then get going, because whatever you set your mind to do in your life, you're gonna do it. And to me, that makes her to be my role model.
I would I would like to follow up with my mother being it as well. I mean, I think that there's so many of us that our families and the way we the way we were raised have contributed so much into our professional world, that, I mean, it's hard not to say that our families are not, someone in our family is not a role model. I mean, my mother, we grew, came from Puerto Rico. She had her small family. We were implanted into suburban neighborhood. She wanted the best for us, and she wanted something different. And she worked really, really, really hard in the education world to teach teachers ESOL, so English as a second language, within the schools. And so, I mean, culture and being successful and teaching others was really, really important to her. And I feel as if I take that passion and strong-willedness and the desire to succeed in almost everything I do. And she did that, and that was the basis of our family. That's just what we did. And so I definitely attribute it to her. But then I would also say, like, from a celebrity standpoint, I mean, I grew up with Jennifer Lopez, like, Puerto Rican family. I mean, she came from nothing and made herself into a star. And that belief, watching her throughout my childhood, I mean, I just idolized her. I just thought, wow, if she could do it, I could do it. And also, I always had blonde hair and green eyes, and I have tan skin, but, like, I don't look as a typical Hispanic, like everybody would say. And so, and it kind of, I would look towards her to think, like, oh, I feel a little bit more like her than I do others. And it just really, really helped me to have that role model and think about, like, sky's the limit, honestly, with, while watching her. So I'd say it's twofold in my answer.
I mean, I think that is really illustrates the importance of representation, right? As we think about within our companies, within media, within everything, you want to see people that we resonate with, that look like us. And I think we're making progress. Honestly, I think we're making progress. I've seen definitely improvements at my company, where I get to see people who look like me at higher levels. And I think it gives other people, including me, that those aspirations, because it can be done. And I just think that's really important to see.
Yeah, Jessica, kudos to you and Target. I mean, your commercials are reflecting on on that diversity, right? Especially the ones that are focusing on those businesses that providing products for your shelf, right? That you sell in your store. So that kudos to you and the work that you guys are doing with your multicultural, marketing.
Well, thanks. I can't take all the credit, but
And,
we can take a little
Jessica,
bit because
I
a lot of
think-
those suppliers were recommended by us. So
and
Definitely makes me
Jessica,
proud to be a supplier. I mean, we partner with Target as well, and it just, makes me proud that like our products are, partnered with, aligned with that initiative. So good job.
Jessica, and I think that there is something very important to be said about us making progress, but there's still a lot of work to be done. On Friday in San Diego, California, at the Latitudes Conference, LCDA, the Latino Corporate Directors Association, released a report about the disparities of Latino representation on corporate boards across this country. And particularly, we've had and seen leadership from states like California who have implemented into their laws and their lawmaking system the ability for those boards or those corporations headquartered in those states to have fair representation. So I think that that work needs to be furthered, and we need to collaborate more on that work, because the fact that we are not adequately represented in boardrooms across this country is a huge problem. And it's not a problem about race and ethnicity. No, it's a problem about economics. It's a problem that the people who walk through the doors of retailers are Latinos, that the people who labor in the stores of retailers are Latinos, that the people who oftentimes across industries in this country do not get a fair wage in this country are Latinos, and that the future generation that is powering corporate America will be and look Latino. So it is just so glaring on the representation side, and I'm so glad that you brought it up, because there is something to be said about the lack of representation that Latinos have in corporate America, in the C-suite and in the boardroom, and the work that still needs to be done. So I invite everyone, especially our partners on this call, to follow the efforts of Latino Voices, which is a coalition that was formed through LCDA in partnership with the United States Hispanic Chamber, to talk to companies to be more inclusive of our community, because we deserve a seat at the corporate boardroom tables of America. We're not looking for a handout. My grandfather would always say, "A mí no me tienes que dar, a mí ponme donde hay." And that means that you don't have to give me a handout. I just want to be where the action is. And the rest, I'll write the rest of that history for you.
We can make things happen ourselves, yeah?
Yeah, that Leroy, that was key there, right? So
Yeah.
the representation is not there yet, and what is going to take to really do that, right? So if you look at statistics, to your point, corporate America doesn't have a lot of Hispanic representing at director levels and above jobs, right? And that's a gap, because the patients, the consumers, the customers, they are, look at the demographics of the United States, how it's growing, and by 2040, the percentage of Latino Hispanics is gonna be duplicative, multiplicative, right? So it's just like that part, and I don't know what it is. Is it development? Is it access, or is it change in the culture, or is it change at that level on the board where it's being mandated down so people can take action? I don't know what that is, but as being a Hispanic, I feel like sometimes we're not looked at. Why is that? And I'm trying to answer that question. I don't have the answer for that, but what is it that for us we don't have that same equal access in a way to really have an upper mobility within the organization, outside the organization? I don't know what that is. Is it because we embrace too many cultures? What is it? So I don't know if anybody has an answer for that. I welcome to have a conversation about that, because I think it's something that is personal to me.
Raul, thanks for that awesome talking point. I feel like growing up Hispanic in Corpus Christi, Texas, representation and visibility is extremely important. And that's kind of what drives me every day to be a Latino LGBT owned business and that has my own business, because I didn't really see too much of that growing up. And I mean, that is what makes me wake up every morning, is to be that person. In terms of like role models, my role models were just like, you guys were my parents. My dad and my mom, they both raised themselves out of poverty. My dad paid for his own schooling. He was I think he was the first one to go to college out of his siblings. And my parents, like, they literally became a team, and my mom suggested that he go to college, and she did the back burner and helped us kids grow. And my dad climbed his way through the oil industry and dealt with a lot of prejudices along the way. And my mom, she flipped houses even before flipping houses was even a term, even before HGTV was a thing. And sorry, I'm getting emotional, but
it is okay. I know.
We cannot let people who got us to a certain part of elevation, we need to continue that. And that's what drives me.
I love that. We are going to take just a quick break to regroup, and we are going to hear a little bit from our suppliers right now and hear their stories.
Clout Consulting is a full service public affairs company that I started in 2013, and it really has taken off. I'm just so excited that I have the certification of the National Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce. It's done wonders. It's allowed me to compete where otherwise I wouldn't be able to compete. I do outreach and public outreach and community outreach and government relations for large capital infrastructure projects, as well as advocate for local cities. And something recently is that I have gained clients in the tech industry, which is extremely profitable, and I love working with these clients and helping them get to their goals with pilot programs and all sorts of other innovative technologies. So in general, just really recommend it. And I'm so happy again that not only am I a MBE certified, but an LGBTE certified public affairs firm. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm John Sotomayor, publisher of Embrace Magazine. My pronouns are he, him, and his. Embrace Magazine is the first ever LGBTQ publication in North Central Florida. We started in July 2019 and have had our first year of publications, our quarterly digital and print magazines. We started with the premiere issue here. We've had the Heroes issue, the Arts issue, and now the Business issue. And we're working on our Advocacy and Charity issue next. What makes Embrace stand out? In our first year, we've had made history twice as the first ever LGBTQ magazine member of the Associated Church Press, established in 1916, and having won 2 national awards through their magazine news story category. And we were the first LGBTQ magazine member of the Florida Magazine Association, established in 1953. We won 22 Charlie Awards. Charlie Awards was established in 1957, and they included the Best New Magazine, seen here, the Best Overall Magazine, seen here, and the Magazine of the Year. We are the first LGBTQ magazine that won Magazine of the Year, the first startup magazine that has won Magazine of the Year, Best New Magazine, and Best Overall Magazine in our startup inaugural year. So LGBTQ magazine is doing great. I invite you all to see it. You can look at it at our website, www.embracemagazine.us. And I'd like to discuss the benefits of membership with the National Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce. For me, that meant sharing my story and presenting, like I am here, to you, to Fortune 500 companies and other business owners, as well as national grant programs available to me. And that is all I can say right now. Thank you so much for allowing me to share.
Hello everyone, my name is Juan Arroyave, managing partner of Kiko's Coffee and Tea. My pronouns are he, him, his. What do we do? Have you ever felt that you need to boost your energy or power up your day? Well, with a cup of Kiko's Coffee and Tea, you can achieve that. That's why we help you do that. We have more than 23 types of coffee, more than 20 types of tea, accessories. We sell wholesale and retail. Why the certification help us? Well, the certification is just us. The certification represents us, our products. It helps us increase sales. It helps us increase our network. The chamber has helped us grow with coaching, courses, classes, seminars, everything. Most of our strategies have been through the local and national chambers. So the certification has been a blessing for us. Thank you very much and have a good day.
Hi everyone, I'm Jonathan Ochar and I'm the founder and CEO of the Postcard Agency. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I'm a proud member of both the Latinx and LGBTQ communities. At the Postcard Agency, we provide marketing and public relations services to businesses and nonprofits of all sizes. And our main goal is to help our clients tell their stories in an authentic, meaningful manner, especially when they're trying to reach diverse audiences. We're really excited and proud to be members of the National Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce, and we're so proud to be a certified LGBT business enterprise. With this certification and also being a member of the Chamber of Commerce, we don't only have the opportunity to work with other LGBTQ-owned businesses, but we have the opportunity to help all kinds of businesses, brands, and nonprofits connect with the LGBT and Latinx communities in a meaningful manner. So with that being said, I hope you all have a happy Hispanic and Latinx Heritage Month, and we'll talk soon.
Those were awesome stories, and I'm so glad you all got to see those and that they were shared. So I want to get the conversation going again and learn a little bit more about the diversity ecosystem and your viewpoint of it. So where do you feel the Hispanic community falls and how does it impact you as a professional? And then I think I want to also hear a little bit about intersectionality, because I think for so many people, they're part of different communities. And how does that play a role within your personal and professional life?
I get that question very often because I've been a person that I also came from poverty and struggle to be a Latino and LGBT person. And as you know, like that combination is tend to be difficult. Once I started with my companies, I can say that being a Hispanic LGBT business has helped me tremendously with my business because I can understand my clients. I can understand not only diversity about being Hispanic, but about being from other religion, other cultures we tolerate, we respect. So it really, really helped me open my mind to work with others, to meet my clients, to get to know my clients, my partners. I tend to work very well. Like now, I change all my strategy. I'm only trying to purchase from small businesses. I recently changed working on changing my labels for my products, and I decided to pay a little bit more to work actually with a Hispanic LGBT supplier from the chamber. And that connection led me to other businesses. And it's been great. If you are proud of who you are and you understand that difference is good, differences are not bad. If you understand that, that will lead you places that you cannot imagine just by being proud and understanding things. So where does it place me? I think in a successful place that I haven't even reached because the sky's the limit. Being Hispanic, really, instead of when people discriminate against us for being LGBT or Hispanic, well, that's okay. The next person will support me. And I won't do the same to others. It's just only share the positive. When I see something bad online, I don't repost it. I only repost positive things. because we need to elevate the Hispanics or everything that is positive.
I think that we often forget that there's so many of us out there, right? I mean, the population is humongous, right? I mean, it's almost half the population of the United States or something like that, right? So it's, and that everyone is impacted by the culture and the diversity ecosystem. I mean, it's out there. I mean, and everyone is impacted. So it's just that there's still a lot of work to be done, but I feel as if, you know, that the more and more, you know, steps we take in the right direction, we're just, you know, people are going to continue to embrace the culture even more so. And then for personal sake, I feel as if, you know, just like what you said, is that I feel like all of my unique attributes are what make who I am. And it's what brings me, you know, what makes me unique in this world and what has helped me navigate the diversity landscape. And honestly, I think that there's also another topic that needs to be discussed, is that balancing that it can be also challenging, right? So you can use diversity in your favor and also know when you shouldn't use it because it's not going to work in your favor. So I do think that there is a little bit of balancing, even though, you know, you're proud of it, there still is that level of where you have to understand when to use it and when not. And that is a very, you know, uncomfortable and odd thing. And just navigating that, and it is a challenge in itself. So definitely there's still a lot of work to be done, but we're getting there.
I would say it's a competitive advantage, right? The intersectionality, the diversity within it is definitely a competitive advantage. You know, we are bilingual individuals, right? So that's something that will bring us as being, you know, competitive when we're, you know, when we're trying to either sell our products or services or either sell ourselves, right? Because we have to sell ourselves if we want to, you know, continue to be elevated within our professional life. So, you know, that's definitely something that sometimes the same culture, you know, tend to be humble and doesn't allow us to really get to that level. And I think that sometimes can be not play, and we tend to forget that, you know, that's a competitive that we bring, and sometimes we don't you know, simplify it the right way. And I think that's something that we need to keep in mind, right? And how to really position ourselves to bring what we bring to the table, you know, to our very best.
I will say one thing kind of leading off of that is that not all Hispanics speak Spanish. And so I think that it's also recognizing that we bring so much to the table beyond language. Culture comes in so many different ways. And I say that as somebody who doesn't speak Spanish. I understand more than I speak, but I don't speak it. And I do think that there's so many Hispanics, especially as we have more generations being born here. In as much as people want to retain language as a culture, sometimes it does get lost along the way. So I just wanted to call that out.
Yeah, but that's totally fine. Like, I mean, who said that if you don't speak Spanish, you're not Hispanic?
Right.
Like,
exactly.
I know people that were born here, like Colombians, and they even love more Colombia than the rest of the Colombians that I know. Like, I mean, they wear the Colombian soccer t-shirt like every time there's a game in soccer. So it's not only about one thing, as you said, it's everything. And we as Latinos, we have to accept that too, because that's diversity. Diversity is not only one thing, it's everything. So yeah, that was a good call out.
Yeah, nobody should ever make us feel less than.
Absolutely. To echo Juan's statement of how it's kind of like uplifted his own company, it has also done the same for me, in being able to understand different cultures, and being able to target people leveraging digital media, because we could speak the language, or we could listen to what people are saying online and translate that into insights and recommendations. That is what sets my company apart from just the typical digital agency. So I really want to say that we, and I know we've already stated this, but lifting each other up as a community and not putting each other down, whether if we don't speak Spanish and it's not our first language, let's celebrate that as opposed to like putting each other down. like communities that inspire me are Indian, Black, Jewish community. These communities I constantly see, they're constantly like buying each other's stuff and talking about each other's stuff and leveraging their family networks. Like I want the Hispanic community to be the same place, and I think we're getting there.
Agreed. Now we only have a few minutes left. And I want to ask Leroy if he has any closing thoughts about what the communities can do. I know you addressed this a little bit earlier, of what the communities can do to help lift up the Hispanic community.
Well, Jessica, I mean, absolutely. I think that one of the things that we need to do is we need to show up and we need to continue to have conversations that critically place Latinos at the forefront of all things economic, of all things social, of all things labor workforce related, of all things politics, of all things in this country that matter to who we are as a community, that matter to the buying power of consumers, that matter to the bottom line of corporate America, that matter to the revitalization of our federal government, that matter to the outcomes of a 2022 congressional race in rural America, that matter to the outcomes of a 2024 presidential race in this country. We have a lot of power. And if we don't realize that power, if we don't define it for ourselves, and if we don't come together as a community and collaborate to leverage that power, then things are going to continue to be a revolving door, the way they've been for decades in this country. We have to stop being the community that believes in bringing people up to stand behind us. We have to start being the community that believes in bringing people up to stand beside us. And that's the only way that we're going to create systemic paradigm shifts in this country to place Latinos and Latinas in the positions that we merit, that we're professionally capable of, and that we deserve to be in. And that's the only way that we're going to create our own economics and build wealth and become philanthropists, and finally get our rightful position at the decision-making tables of America, whether it be in politics, in government, or in corporate America. So we have to start acting like the community that our economics defines us to be, and stop acting as the community that everybody wants to socially define us by.
All right, well, on that call to action, I'm going to wrap it up for us. First of all, thank you again, NGLCC, for bringing this group together. Really enjoyed the conversation today, very robust. We probably could go on for hours and hours and hours. And we will once we're all back together in person, I know it. And again, thank you so much. And I will pass it over to Alicia.
What an amazing program. Thank you to our speakers and our incredible moderator for sharing your perspectives, experiences, and stories with us. My name is Alicia Green. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the Director of Supplier Diversity and co-lead the Communities of Color Initiative at NGLCC. I hope that you enjoyed this program as much as I did. May you enjoy the rest of your day, and remember to take the knowledge you've gained today to help empower others to make a difference in their lives, businesses, and communities. Take care.